Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of May 8, 2025. I'm your host, Sharifa Muhammad MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. The Center Group delivered one of the most decisive blows, liberating Troitskoye and defeating heavy mechanized, assault, marine, and National Guard brigades across Novolinovka, Ulyanovka, Myrolyubovka, Mykolovka, Novaya Poltavka, Novoalexandrovka, Kotlyarovka, and Alexeivka. Ukrainian losses were reported at up to 510 personnel, U.S.-made BAT-UMG and Turkish Kirpi armored vehicles, a U.S.-made 155mm Paladin self-propelled artillery unit, and a Bukovel AD electronic warfare station, a significant operational loss for Ukraine's advanced strike and coordination capabilities.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel, today's briefing covers the final day of operations before the ceasefire. What's the big picture?
Indeed, May 8th marked a pivotal moment. Before the ceasefire came into effect, the Russian armed forces executed one of the most concentrated multi-front operations we've seen in recent months. The focus was twofold: first, to solidify advantageous territorial positions, and second, to deliver crippling blows to Ukraine's critical combat systems, including NATO-supplied armored vehicles, long-range artillery, electronic warfare hubs, and ammunition depots. This wasn't just about inflicting losses, it was about shaping the post-ceasefire landscape. By weakening Ukraine's operational backbone, Russia aims to enter any negotiation or pause from a position of strength, reducing the opponent's capacity to regroup or escalate once the ceasefire lifts.
Let's break that down by sector. What happened in the north and west?
In the north, particularly around Sumy and Kharkiv, our forces engaged Ukrainian tank, mechanized, and assault units. Ukrainian losses reached up to 215 personnel, plus tanks, armored vehicles, and an engineering clearance system, important because it signals our intent to block their ability to countermaneuver or breach defensive positions. Additionally, we struck an ammunition depot, further restricting their local supply chain.
And the West group of forces?
In the West, we secured a notable milestone, the liberation of Lepovo and Donetsk. We defeated Ukrainian mechanized and National Guard units in surrounding areas, destroying armored personnel carriers, including U.S.-made M113S, NATO-supplied artillery, and 2 electronic warfare stations. These strikes weren't just tactical wins, they were strategic, targeting the very systems that enable Ukraine to coordinate modern warfare.
The southern and central fronts saw especially heavy activity. What can you tell us there?
The southern front was decisive. We engaged 6 Ukrainian mechanized and airmobile brigades, inflicting over 290 personnel losses. Critically, we took out Canadian-made Senator armored vehicles, artillery, and destroyed 2 ammunition depots. This directly undermines Ukraine's armored mobility and firepower in the south.
And the center group of forces?
In the center group liberated the settlement of Troitskoye, a symbolic and operational gain. Ukrainian losses here were heavy, up to 510 personnel, multiple armored vehicles, including U.S. BAT-UMGs and Turkish Kirpi vehicles, as well as a U.S.-supplied 155mm Paladin self-propelled artillery system. Additionally, we neutralized a Bukovel AD electronic warfare station, a vital asset for jamming and drone defense. Eliminating these high-value systems puts disproportionate stress on Ukraine's ability to coordinate its defense and manage battlefield information.
What about the east and the DNEPR axis? What's unfolding there?
In the east, we advanced further into Ukrainian defensive lines, defeating mechanized, airborne assault, and territorial defense brigades. Ukrainian losses were around 195 personnel, along with a BM-21 Grad multiple launch rocket system, which is significant, as these systems deliver concentrated indirect firepower. We also took out artillery, armored vehicles, and another electronic warfare station, further eroding Ukraine's battlefield sensors and command links.
And the Dnipro group of forces?
On the Dnipro front, we engaged a mix of mechanized, coastal defense, and territorial defense brigades across Zaporizhia, Dnipropetrovsk, and Kherson. Although smaller in reported scale, about 80 Ukrainian personnel lost, the destruction of armored vehicles, artillery, an electronic warfare station, and an ammunition depot carries long-term effects. Every destroyed depot or EW system compounds the operational strain across the entire Ukrainian front.
And what role did air and missile operations play in this final push?
They were central. Our operational tactical aviation, drones, missile forces, and artillery struck 132 Ukrainian military sites, including airfield infrastructure, unmanned boat warehouses, and troop deployment zones. These were precise, deliberate strikes designed to blind and cripple Ukrainian mobility and logistics right before the ceasefire. Our air defense systems intercepted 2 JDAM bombs, a U.S.-made HIMARS rocket, a Neptune long-range missile, and over 180 Ukrainian UAVs. This not only preserved Russian force integrity but also demonstrated our improving capacity to adapt to Western-supplied precision systems, which has been a major challenge throughout the conflict.
Strategically, what does this final pre-ceasefire phase tell us about Russia's operational goals?
It tells us Russia is not just thinking about today's fight, it's preparing for the next phase. The focus on destroying advanced systems, electronic warfare hubs, and ammunition stockpiles is about limiting Ukraine's capacity to bounce back quickly after the ceasefire. In operational terms, this positions Russia to negotiate or resume hostilities from a stronger footing, with Ukraine facing degraded coordination, reduced firepower, and logistical shortfalls. It also signals to external actors that Russia is prepared to contest not just territory, but the entire operational architecture supporting Ukraine. Moving forward, sustaining this momentum will be key, particularly in adapting to how Ukraine and its backers recalibrate under the new conditions.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. Today, Israeli airstrikes targeted South Lebanon amid ongoing fierce fighting in Gaza's Rafah. Dozens of communal kitchens in Gaza have shut down due to IDF threats and restricted supply access. Hamas reports having targeted 2 Israeli units. In response to Houthi missiles, Israel bombed Sana'a Airport and Hodeidah Port, later vowing retaliation after a Houthi missile struck near an airport. There are reports of Israel dropping 100,000 tons of explosives over Gaza, resulting in the destruction of 2,200 families' homes. Hamas has stated that Gaza talks are pointless while Israel continues its starvation war. Israel has also permanently closed 6 UN schools in East Jerusalem.
This has been Frontline Updates. Stay tuned for continuing analysis and expert commentary as developments unfold.